everyone, this is Julia over at the Macedon Public Library, and I'm coming to you again with three more book recommendations. I believe these are all like in the four something reading level. They're either juve or mid readers, and these books are all about unlikely detectives. So they're detective books with some slightly different people who were the detectives. All right, so I've got some notes today, so let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first one is The Case of the Lost Boy. It's in the Buddy Files. It's the first one in the Buddy Files book, and it is written by Dory Hilstead Butler. So this is our copy, and this is the story being told by Buddy. So Buddy is the one who's telling the story, and Buddy is the dog. He has just been adopted by a new family, and they at the beginning we find him at the POUND, which is one of the words that Buddy knows how to spell in the human language. So at the beginning, he's in the POUND, he's in the pound, and he has a different name. His name was King, and he was missing his new family. He was talking to the other dogs there, and then a new mom and boy pick him out from the POUND, and they bring him to a new home. And then he's thinking, well, I want to find my old family. This is okay, this is fine, but I want to find my family. So along the way, he thinks, I've learned some things from my other family about how to be a detective. There was a little girl named Kayla, and she taught him some things that you need to know. So Buddy knows to find his family, he needs to look, he has to find out what he does know, what clues, what things he might have that would be helpful, and then the answers that he needs to get to do this. So his first case is kind of like how to find his family, but along the way, he loses his new boy. So then it is the case of the lost boy. So he is trying to see and he just met this boy and this new mom, and the house where he's staying is brand new to him. But he's thinking about what does he know? What does he know about the boy so forth? So there's very strong smells that he remembers. One of them is dirt and one of them is toothpaste. So he has some of the stuff that he knows about the boy. And he knows about where the last place is that he saw the boy and the last place he can find the smell. So that's some of the information he has. And then he's thinking, what kind of answers does he need to get to find this missing lost boy? Along the way, he finds things. He's always hungry. He finds lots of food or smells of lots of food, and everything is his favorite food. So he loves to eat. He's a dog. He loves to eat. Along the way, he talks to other animals. He finds some dogs that help him, and they bark, 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 and spread the word. And there's even a cat who kind of helps him, but kind of doesn't help him. And of course, eventually, with his superior sleuthing abilities, he does find the missing boy, the lost boy, which then brings him back to where he wanted to start at the beginning, which was for his missing family, his first family. But now he also likes his new family, and he thinks that they could use his help too. So there we leave it. There are, again, like I said, this is the first one of this series of the Buddy Files, and before he was Buddy, he was King. So our library has more of the books. So this is The Case of the Missing Family, which is the book that comes next, if you're interested in it. But then we also have some books that talk about his life before with his first family. I told you his name was King, and he was with a little girl named Kayla. So we do have some books that are the King and Kayla series. So this is kind of when he's really learning, because Kayla is learning to be a detective. So King learns alongside him. So we have stories of the same dog, both as known as King and then as Buddy. So that's the first one, which I really did enjoy. They're just really nice stories. And who can't enjoy a good dog? So the next one, I was scanning through, just shelving books away, and I noticed this one that caught my attention. It is Mr. and Mrs. Bunny, Detectives Extraordinaire. And this is actually written by Mrs. Bunny. However, it was translated from the Bunny language by Polly Horvath. So you're going to find it under Polly Horvath on our shelves. So when I saw this book, I thought, really, there's Bunny detectives? Why not? Let's try it. It's a 4.8 reading level, by the way. So this time our detectives are bunnies, and they run into a little girl named Madeline who needs their help. She has a problem that needs to be solved, and she runs into these bunnies who have just decided to be detectives. Why not? And they even have the hats to prove it. So Madeline is the little girl in the story who's the main character, and she lives in a very unusual situation. So she lives on a small island called Hornby Island, which is in British Columbia, and that is part of Western Canada. Her parents are what I call free spirits. They're all investigating and thinking about enlightenment and deep thoughts. And it is Madeline, their daughter, who is the one who's taking care of the responsible things. She makes sure that light bulbs get replaced and the money is being spent wisely and that they don't use up all their money for candles. Um, and when the story starts, she is coming home from her last day of school from Vancouver Island, and then she has to go to Denman Island, which then brings her to Hornby Island. So she's so responsible. She's even doing that, and it's her last day of 5th grade, and she's coming home. And that night there is a festival of lights on her island. And after that, when she comes home after the festival, she realizes that her parents have been kidnapped. So there's a note left behind, and I'm going to read that note to you. So the note says, which is kind of written with a fountain pen, kind of scrawly ink, "Dear Madeline, we have taken your parents in for questioning. If they do not tell us where the decoder, aka Uncle Runyon, lives, foul things await them. Beware, if they do not talk, you will be next. We will be in touch. Do not go to the police, or we cannot answer for our actions. But let me give you a clue. Finger food. Mwahaha. Cordially yours, signed the enemy." Let me see if I can kind of show you what the letter kind of looks like. Right, so it's not the neatest sort of writing. So that is the note that she found. And so they were looking for this Uncle Runyon, and couldn't find it, so they kidnapped the parents. And so her reaction then is, I need to go find my uncle. So she knows, because she's a responsible one, she knows where he lives. So she's going off to find them, to find him, the uncle. And she sees also in the driveway, before she quite leaves, she sees a little index card with a recipe on there. It looks like a recipe, but it's kind of cryptic. It's in code, but it does say the words Fanny Fox's Canned Rabbit Products and Rabbit Byproducts Factory. So she takes this card, she takes the kidnapper's note, and she goes to Uncle Runyon's house, and it is on his house, on his mansion's ground. He lives in a big house, that she runs into Mr. and Mrs. Bunny, who help. So Uncle Runyon goes into a coma, because why not? But he's okay. It's okay. And so that's why the bunnies are helping her find her parents and help her uncle and figure out what the kidnappers are doing. There are many silly turns and twists to the detective story. Not only rabbits, but they are involved in a hat club. There's marmots, which are large ground squirrels. Prince Charles is involved in the story, and also I don't know if you can see, I'm in the Idea Factory right now, so there's like books about knitting and crocheting. Mrs. Rabbit happens to be doing, Mrs. Bunny knits with used dental floss. So why not? It has a couple of mentions of even a favorite restaurant of mine called the Old Spaghetti Factory. There used to be an Old Spaghetti Factory in the Rochester area. I don't know when it moved out, but anyway, they have really good spaghetti. I enjoyed this book so much, I had a hard time putting it down. It was just silly and fun, and I liked it. I like bunnies. Why not? I say that a lot. So if you like this book, there is another one. We don't own it, but it is in the system, I believe, and it is The Bunnies Go to England. They decide to become royalties, just like they decided to be detectives. They decided, oh, we're going to join the royal family. And I hear there is a guest appearance in that book by a certain J.K. Rowling, and it's otherwise known as Old What's Her Name. So that is the second book. And then finally, I thought, well, I want to do something really different. And this one is, because I don't normally read graphic novels, but I happen to pick this one up, Investigators. So this time, the investigators, the detectives, are alligators. So they are called Mango and Brash. I think Mango is the dark one and Brash is the light one. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I was laughing by the time I was on page 15, so I was so hooked. It's like, okay, I have to review this one because it is just a lot of fun. These are all fun books to read. So in Investigators, there are several mysteries and disappearances. There's flashbacks, there's lots of silly puns, lots of puns. So if you have fun messing around with language and words, this is a book for you. Um, there is a bakery, there is the science factory where all of the science is made, because that's how we know science is done, right? It's in a factory. There's brain surgery, there's mustaches, there's a wear helicopter. I did say that right. It's a wear helicopter. And there is a transportation system where they get flushed down the toilet from one building and then they go into suit headquarters. Suit is their detective kind of investigator headquarters, which stands for Special Undercover Investigation Teams. So this was a really fun book. They were doing their investigating. You can kind of see in the picture here, they get these special vests that have all these different things that come out of their buttons, and this one has a magnifying glass like a detective would use. And they are breaking out of the building, I guess. So that one was all a lot of fun too, and I enjoyed these detectives. This is the kind of way that if I had to get help, I think I would call on one of these. I probably would go for the bunnies because they were my favorite. But anyway, I really enjoy these books and I hope you can give them a try and we'll enjoy them too. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.